Some couples allow their emotions to get the best of them, sometimes even turning to murder. After all, the phrase crime of passion was invented for a reason. What's worse is when an affair involves married partners. That's when things can get really complicated. Such is the case of Orsolya Gaal, who was stabbed almost 60 times by her lover and then dragged in her son's duffel bag across the street. That's not even the most jaw-dropping detail of the murder scene. Originally from Hungary, Orsolya Gaal was a 51-year-old housewife who lived in New York with her husband and 2 sons. She studied at the Budapest Business School College of International Management and Business. She was married to Howard Klein, founder of financial advisor firm RK Equities in 2002, and spent 5 years working as an investment banker in Hungary. Klein is a very successful person, and that's pretty evident from the fact that the family lives in a $1 million home. Gaal was a prolific Facebook user, documenting her travels to Guatemala, around the United States, and her home country of Hungary, as well as family occasions such as Halloween and school recitals. Gaal also had a secret lover. Meet David Bonola, who arrived in the US approximately 20 years ago from Mexico and started working as a handyman. He was the family's handyman and had access to a hidden key to the family's home. It is believed he had been doing odd jobs for the family for a few years. Bonola and Gaal had been having an intimate affair for about 2 years while he was doing jobs at the house. Bonola appears to have maintained 2 Facebook accounts. He also used to regularly comment under Gaal's Facebook pictures. Their affair was on and off for 2 years as Gaal was trying to end it. After the most recent breakup, things were about to take a whole new turn. No one ever knew what was going to happen the night of April 15th, not even David Bonola. How the event took place will actually shock you, not only because of its heinous nature, but how well documented it is. On Friday night, April 15th, Miss Gaal had gone out with friends to see a show at Lincoln Center, and then spent some time at a neighborhood bar called Forest Hill Station. Manager Gabrielle Varese said Gaal, who was a regular, had a drink and some food by herself, chatted with staff, and then left alone after midnight, which is consistent with the NYPD's account. The police believe that Gaal returned home around 12:20 a.m. Bonola arrived at her residence between 12:30 and 12:40 a.m. He either let himself in involuntarily or used a key which he knew was hidden in the barbecue. It is still not clear if Gaal had any idea if Bonola was arriving or if his dropping by startled her. The police stated that after talking for a while, a heated argument ensued between the two in the basement. Gaal's kid was in the house, and she didn't want him to listen to the conversation, which could be the main reason why they were down in the basement. When the argument got out of hand, a knife was wielded. Bonola is a muscular handyman, so Gaal had no chance. A violent struggle ensued, resulting in the victim being stabbed ruthlessly and brutally in excess of 55 times, causing her demise. After all, no one survives that many stab wounds. Well, not many. We have to realize that all this happened while her son was in a bedroom upstairs. But that's not even the worst thing about the murder scene. What happened next will definitely steal your breath away if it hasn't already been stolen. After brutally stabbing and murdering his lover, Bonola then put Gaal's body into her son's hockey duffel bag. Yes, the bag was big enough for the whole body, if you're wondering. He then dragged it several blocks to Forest Park, leaving it on Metropolitan Avenue near the Jackie Robinson Parkway. Bonola wasn't smart enough, or he was probably too tense to think about the blood trail he would be leaving behind. He left a trail from the house all the way to where he left the bag, according to the police. A person walking their dog found the bag on Saturday morning. It was a suburban area, so many houses were expected to have CCTV cameras outside their homes. Bonola didn't account for that either, and just dragged a huge bag with a body inside it like he was taking an evening stroll. A home security camera captured what appeared to be a person dragging the large bag after the killing. This is the worst job of a cover-up I have ever seen. As the video showed, Bonola was seen rolling the body down the sidewalks, leaving a bloody trail through the streets of Forest Hills. At 7:50 a.m. Saturday, that duffel bag was recovered at Metropolitan Avenue. The police believe that after disposing of the body, Mr. Bonola fled through Forest Park, where investigators discovered the jacket believed to be worn by him during this vicious crime. Detectives also developed leads, which led them to the location where boots, a t-shirt, and bloody bandages were discovered. The investigation also revealed that Bonola received treatment for wounds to both hands at an area hospital. The medical examiner's office said Gaal died of sharp force injuries to her neck and ruled her death a homicide. Police have been at the family's $1 million home for days as part of the investigation. Neighbors said her husband Howard Klein and their older son were out of town over the weekend visiting colleges. Police questioned her other son as part of the investigation, but he was not charged. Why would he be? After all, he was sleeping in a room upstairs. Detectives quickly focused on 3 men who Gaal was reported in contact with on the night she died. Klein, the husband, told police that he received a threatening text from her phone after the killing, threatening the rest of his family. The NYPD believes that Bonola sent a text alluding to a prior crime committed by someone. Deputy Chief Julie Morrill said that message was that there had been a crime in the past, that same person from the crime in the past was back again. It read, "Your wife sent me to jail some years ago. I'm back." He also made an ominous warning, "Your whole family is next." The police believe that to be completely false, as Bonola had nothing to do with any crime in the past in this case. Bonola had no previous charge in the police record. The two had been off and on, and they had broken up prior, but had reunited earlier in the month of April, after their relationship was considered at an end. He came back that evening to speak about the relationship again. The investigation revealed that Bonola and Gaal had fought before. This isn't the first time Orsolya Gaal went missing either. Police sources show that she was reported missing by her husband 2 years before she was brutally murdered. Howard Klein called 911 just after 7 a.m. on May 29, 2020, to say that his wife had failed to return from a late-night stroll. Mr. Klein phoned back about a half hour later and said that Miss Gaal had been found. 4 days after Gaal was killed, police, who were looking to speak with Bonola, spotted him near the crime scene while they were out canvassing for video. Bonola was finally arrested 4 days after he butchered the wife. He gave a matter-of-fact confession to cops, then gave a second one on video for prosecutors. Once Bonola was done allegedly spilling his guts to cops, he lapped up a bagel with cream cheese as his statements were being processed. What a guy. Bonola left the Queen's Precinct in handcuffs and was placed in a police car. A judge ordered him to be held without bond after police said he confessed to the killing. This horrible incident stemmed from a domestic-type dispute that they were having over their intimate relationship. They started to get into just regular domestic issues that seemed to occur between them. Last week, on the 22nd, 4 people, including a woman and 2 men, were seen bringing out 3 suitcases, 2 backpacks, a floral arrangement, and a plastic bag stuffed with belongings out of Bonola's Queen's home. When the group was asked if they were related to Bonola, one of the men grunted no and declined further comment. The group then loaded the belongings into a waiting taxi and took off. Friends and neighbors of the 51-year-old Orsolya Gaal took to her social media pages to leave condolences and share their grief with the family over her torturous death. Bonola is currently awaiting arraignments in Queen's Criminal Court on charges of murder, criminal possession of a weapon, and criminal tampering. How many years do you think David Bonola deserves in prison? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and also share it with your friends. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for your regular dose of whodunits. Stay safe, stay warm, and don't get any crazy ideas.